Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is a quick little vlog. Um, I just wanted to get a little video up to provide a little bit of an update on a few things, share a few thoughts on a handful of trailers, just give you a little bit of content because it's going to be a bit until I get to the rest of the requests that I have for the channel. Um, I've been working a lot, a crazy amount, because it's starting to get into peak season when it comes to the retail season. So I'm getting pretty worn down, and I don't know if you can see it or hear it in my voice, but yeah, I'm definitely getting a little bit worn out. That's for sure. So I've been feeling a little under the weather the past couple days. Um, but I'm gonna get to the requests and I'm gonna get to other content as soon as I possibly can. Um, I know I missed last month's Physical Media Madness. I'm going to make up for that, and I'm going to turn it into a Black Friday edition. So it's not just going to be strictly the month of November. I'm pretty sure for most of you, it doesn't really matter whether or not I get it in at the right time. But I thought I would just kind of throw it out there just to give you a little bit of an update on what's happening with that. That should be up in like I would say like a few days from now. Um, maybe as soon as Sunday, because I actually have a day off on Sunday. And when it comes to the other requests, I'm going to try to get a bunch of them done and finish out the requests that were sent in for the month of November, and get those done within the next week or so. I'm going to try to get at least a couple requests from Shine. I'm going to try to get those a couple of those done and uploaded on Sunday. And I'm also going to try to, of course, finish up the Ernest reviews for Brock. And for anyone else who's requested anything, I'm going to get to you as soon as I possibly can in the order that I've received the requests. I know I have one more Patreon request. It's for Sid and Nancy. I'm going to make that a priority, and I'm going to try to get that done within the next few days as well. But in terms of other things, as you can see, things look a little bit different when it comes to the video. I went out and bought a new webcam. I picked up the Facecam Pro, and it's from Elgato, and it skews a bit green. So that's something that you can definitely see, and I'm definitely trying to work around a little bit. I think I just need one more pretty high quality, like at least high quality for me, light, and I think that'll maybe help. Regardless, I like the detail. I think the detail is considerably better than the other webcam that I've had. And on top of that, I think it handles other things a lot better. Specifically, the Brio that I was using before, anytime I would try to put anything that has like a lot of white on the screen, which I will actually just grab right here, it would just be washed out and you couldn't even see it. But as you can see here, like you can see it clearly, and you can see my face, you can see the detail there, um, everything. So I think it's definitely a step up in that regard. Um, Seems to work well with OBS as well. So I'm looking forward to getting a lot more experience with this. I'm being thrown into the deep end with this camera, so I'm not really used to working with ISO and all of this other stuff, because this is a legitimate camera. This is not just like your average webcam. Like you could use this as an actual regular camera because there's shutter speed settings and ISO settings and everything. Um, but yeah, I had kind of an interesting back and forth with this camera because initially when I first set it up, I was like, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this much detail on my face. I'm not used to things looking more natural in terms of the color. Like I naturally have redder lips. That's just kind of how I am. I've noticed that now when I'm like looking at myself in the mirror or just looking at myself in the camera in other places. So it's just something that, I thought maybe, oh, it's making things look too red, but actually it's closer to actually how I really look. So this is something that's going to take some getting used to, but I'm going to work with it because, as you can see, I think the results are pretty dang good in terms of at least the quality. Um, and especially when it comes to showing stuff on video. And speaking of video, I improved the way that I watch videos, the way that I watch movies recently and listen to them. I upgraded my entire sound and television system. Got some good deals from local marketplace sellers. Upgraded my soundbar system to a Samsung Q990B. I upgraded my 4K TV to an OLED, an LG 48-inch OLED, and I have honestly been in cinematic heaven for a while. And I'm really looking forward to watching tons more content on this setup. I rewatched 1917 on it, and it was just absolutely astonishing. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on in terms of my life right now. Just enjoying, whatever little bit of free time I have with my OLED and my Q990B soundbar system, and living the life. And when it comes to other stuff that's worth mentioning, like I said, this is a vlog, so I'm gonna throw you a few little thoughts on a few trailers. The first one I want to talk about is Lisa Frankenstein. It's a new film that's coming out next year. It's directed by Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter. It's her directorial debut. And it looks like a quirky, fun horror comedy. It looks like something you would have seen in the 80s or 90s. I like the cast. I like that the trailer didn't really give away that much at all. It left a lot to your imagination. And overall, it looks like a fun throwback. It legitimately looks like it could be a fun throwback to over the top, really creative, really out there 80s, 90s horror comedy. So that one's definitely going to be on my radar. Um, one that I definitely will not give two fucks about, and one that already came out on streaming is Genie, the new Melissa McCarthy movie. It's the same shtick as usual with her films. Oh, once again, she's playing an overweight lady, and she's making jokes about being fat and just being loud and obnoxious, and but she has a heart of gold. It's like that just looks like an absolute just useless pile of feces. Like I'm so tired of that particular formula or that particular kind of film. Especially from Melissa McCarthy. It's a played out format at this point. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes looks like it could be good. At least definitely a good film when it comes to the visuals. I don't know about the story yet. I don't know if we necessarily needed another one of those movies, but I think it's still something that could potentially be decent due to the visual effects, due to maybe the action, and so on. But the fact that it's just another one of those Planet of the Apes movies, it's just one of those things where you're like, oh, really? Another one? Like, once again, Hollywood just can't really come up with an original idea. And what's crazy is the first trailer that I saw that really surprised me and really led to at least a trailer experience that I thought was legitimately something special was the Fall Guy. And the Fall Guy is actually a remake anyway. But at least it's like a remake of something that hasn't been necessarily done already. Like they haven't remade the TV show The Fall Guy. I think there maybe have been attempts to do it in the past, but not until recently. I really love Ryan Gosling, and I think it honestly looks like a gem. It looks like a gem in the making. It looks like a really fun movie with some good action. You already have a very capable director, as well as a good cast, who is working alongside Ryan. So, and Ryan, to me, he's starting to become more of a breakout star. I thought he was easily the biggest and the best part of Barbie. Although Margot Robbie was close, but to me, he stole the show in that film. So I'm really looking forward to the Fall Guy. It looks like a good mix of action and comedy, and a little bit of a unique approach to action film satire and so on. Um, the trailers for Lift and The Family Plan, completely forgettable. Lift, the new film that Kevin Hart's going to be in, where it's not a comedy and he's playing it straight, but it's just another generic heist movie. That's definitely something I'm going to skip. I'm also going to skip The Family Plan with Marky Mark and his Funky Punch. Funky Punch is better because I honestly I want to punch him and knock his lights out, so I don't have to see him act in these shitty films anymore. So Funky Punch is a better way to put it. Yeah, awful. Look like straight up trash. The Family Plan look like a poor man's pacifier, or a spy film for kids, and we've seen that's been done a million times. A pacifier, the spy next door, my spy, you name it. Like, we didn't need another one of those. Um, Candy Cane Lane, that's another thing. We did not need another Eddie Murphy family movie. What is going on, Eddie? I thought you were done with this. I thought you were done making these lazy, cheap films that are fun for the whole family. And I guess not, because we have a special lump of coal in the form of the Candy Cane Lane movie. And that also has a little bit of extra ire for me because the title just reminds me of a song that I've heard a million fucking times already since I work in retail. I'm already triggered by the title. Um, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. You know what? I thought I would be triggered by that trailer, and honestly, it provided me with the opposite reaction. I genuinely liked that trailer. I still have my doubts. I still feel that this is a franchise that is honestly kind of on thin ice, but the trailer did the right things for me. It was actually trying to do something different with this franchise, which I've been begging for, which I've been asking for a long time. You have a different villain. You have a different approach to things. The stakes feel a little higher. The new team seems like they're a little bit more comfortable with their proton packs and with their status as Ghostbusters. The original crew is there as well. There are some new additions I'm not so sure about, like Patton Oswalt, for instance. And I think I forgot, was like, is his name like Camille Nunanjani or something? I can't pronounce his name. I forgive. I forgive is not really the right word. People should forgive me. Um, yeah, I'm not good with names, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, Nuna, I think it's New. Yeah, it's Nuna Johnny or something, and that guy's been in a lot of stuff, and not really a big fan of his. But it looks like it could be fun. And I like the idea of the deft touch, and really what is doing it for me, it's got a different director as well. So a different vision, a different person behind the wheel of the Ecto One, so to speak. And it gave me real Ghostbusters vibes, or extreme Ghostbusters vibes, which I don't think is a bad thing. That's what I feel the franchise should have done with Afterlife, instead of just being generic, bland fan service. But that's just me personally. It could still be a generic, bland sequel. There's definitely a chance of that happening, but I liked what I saw. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say otherwise. I was actually surprised by how potentially decent and kind of fun a Frozen Empire looked. Um, Damsel, I mean, it could be okay. I like the lead girl. Um, why is her name escaping me right now? I know she's the actress, from Stranger Things. Um, Millie Bobby Brown. Um, what I like about it is that it's kind of turning some things on its head when it comes to like the damsel in distress thing. Um, but that's also not something that's completely totally new. But it looks like it has some decent stylish direction. Could be a fun fantasy film in terms of the action. And the plot looks like it's trying to do something a little bit different. Not entirely different, but a little bit. The Garfield movie, I like Garfield a lot. I grew up with Garfield. I remember reading Garfield comics all the time as a kid. I watched Garfield and Friends reruns constantly on TV whenever they were on. Um, but I really wasn't into that trailer. I think Chris Pratt is just horribly miscast. I don't understand why he keeps getting cast in everything. I don't get it. I don't think he's the right fit for Garfield at all. And I don't know. I just don't like the animation, and it just seems like it lacks the snark that I want out of a Garfield movie, and it just felt off to me. It just looked very off, like you're eating lasagna that has some cheese in it that's a few days old. Well, not a few days old, like more than that, like a few months old. So it's past its expiration date. Uh, Rebel Moon Part One, typical Zack Snyder at his finest or at his worst. Looked like a film that is visually stunning, potentially looks great, but I don't know about the plot. Seems like a mishmash of things that I've seen already, and it looked like it could be one of those films that has some good action, but has questionable writing in other areas, which is a problem that Zack Snyder has, to be perfectly honest, especially with a lot of his current films. Um, I mean, Zack Snyder on Netflix is not really something that's been a slam dunk for me. I liked the trailer for Army of the Dead, but then I saw the movie itself and it was awful for the most part, except for a few moments of gore and maybe a couple action sequences and maybe the performance by Batista. But other than that, I thought it was pretty bad. So I don't know about that. Could be fun, could be interesting, could just be a bunch of empty eye candy. That's really what it could ultimately wind up being. And that's how I feel about Madam Web as well. I think that's nothing but empty eye candy because that idea is just not anything I'm remotely intrigued by. I don't care about a Madam Web movie. I don't give a shit about all like the Spider Girl team up movie. I don't give a shit about that concept. It doesn't do anything for me. And it's Sony. It's Sony doing their own solo Spider-Man spin-off film. That has a horrible track record for me because I didn't like Venom. I haven't seen Venom 2 yet because I didn't like Venom so much. The trailer that I saw for Craven the Hunter was fucking laughable as hell. Morbius, more BS, like more bullshit, because that's what that film was full of. So, yeah, Madam Web doesn't look magnificent or great in any capacity to me, other than the fact that some of the women are admittedly nice to look at. Sydney Sweeney in particular. Imaginary, I don't know about that. Like another Blumhouse horror film that's made on the cheap, but this time around it's imaginary friends, and now it's like a killer teddy bear. I'm like, great, Teddy Ruxpin is now come to life, and he's going to kill you. Just, just stop. Uh, the Iron Claw, the film about the famous, well-known wrestling family, um, the Von Erichs. Really like that trailer. I think Zac Efron is perfectly cast in that role, and I've always felt the Von Erich story could honestly make for a great film, and I think this could legitimately be a really good movie. So that one's definitely got my interest, and I'm definitely really psyched to see that. And Zac Efron's been an actor that's just been rising up the ranks for me anyway, with every role that he's in. So he looks just really jacked in that. But it's not just his looks that's impressive in that trailer. It's also his acting. And honestly, when you see him in that trailer, you can't help but think he would be the perfect He-Man. Am I right? Like, if you're gonna do a Masters of the Universe movie, you might as well do it right and give Zac Efron give him the role as Prince Adam. It seems like it's a no-brainer. Furiosa, the Mad Max saga. I like Anya Taylor-Joy, but I'm still not 100% convinced about her being Furiosa. But it's got some crazy ass visuals yet again. Looks like it's going to have some great stunt work. Definitely looks like a film that has a lot going for it from a visual standpoint. Still kind of on the fence about the story, maybe. But from the trailer, some good looking action, some good looking stunts. Um, just hope Miller and other people involved with it leave the politics at the door. And if they do that, that film has a lot of potential. That could be one of the better films that will come out next year. Um, I know, yeah, there's another thing, like there was a casting call announcement for the new Karate Kid, which I'm surprised that that's actually the direction they went, because I remember when it was initially announced that there was going to be a new Karate Kid. Uh, I believe, yeah, it was Sony. They were quick to be like, "Oh, it's actually not a tie-in to Cobra Kai. There's no connection to that whatsoever, or the original Karate Kid. It's going to be a spin-off, and it's going to be just another reboot." But now it seems like it's something else. It's it seems like it actually is somewhat connected to Cobra Kai, because unless they're ignoring the events of Cobra Kai and just following up after the events of Karate Kid Part 3 with Daniel, because Daniel's going to be in it, and so is Jackie Chan's character. I believe his name is Han. I think that was his character's name in the remake, in the reboot. I could be wrong, but then again, I thought that remake was mostly forgettable, but also pretty bad. Memorably bad in the way that it was literally just the same fucking movie as the original Karate Kid. But I'm still not very hopeful about this, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see what the end result of the casting call is. Like, who are they going to find to be the new Karate Kid, and also, um, how are they going to connect Daniel and Jackie Chan's character? Like, how is that all going to connect together? So there are some things about that I'm definitely a little intrigued by when it comes to that. Something I'm not intrigued by. I think it's another Blumhouse horror film. I think it's coming out sometime next year. I could be wrong. Could be a different production company, but I think it's Blumhouse. Night Swim. I'm like, really? A movie about a haunted swimming pool? Like, wow, we are really running out of ideas now. So an entire film that is basically that one scene from Poltergeist 3. Great. That sounds like a winner. Um the trailer definitely didn't win me over. That looked boring. It looked lame. It looked like they were just playing a long ass game of Marco Polo. Um but yeah, you know what? 2024, it's going to be kind of a weird year because of the fact that there's going to be a lot of films that are going to be delayed and not going to come out. But then there's going to be a lot of movies that they're actually going to, put out there. And some of the stuff that I've seen actually surprised me a little bit. I got to be honest, there are already some films that have dropped trailers that I honestly am looking forward to more than the bulk of the movies that have come out this year. Because out of the films that I've seen this year that have come out in theaters, this has been one of the weaker years in recent memory. And I still haven't finished checking out some of these films. Thanksgiving, I do want to give it a shot one of these days. Probably not in the theater, or wait till that starts streaming. But I was disappointed by a lot of it. But yeah, 2024, I don't know. I mean, could be some decent stuff like the Iron Claw. Although I think the Iron Claw is coming out later this year, so that's technically not a 2024 film. But you know, the Fall Guy, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, the Furiosa, the Mad Max Fury Road prequel, Lisa Frankenstein. So there's a few things that are definitely looking pretty decent to me. As for anything else that I want to mention, I will probably mention this in the upcoming Physical Media Madness, but I'll reiterate it here. Finally, I'm gonna be like The Rock here. James Cameron has released The Abyss in 4K. And finally, James Cameron and Disney are also going to be releasing True Lies and Aliens in 4 fucking K. Yeah, I am stoked, to say the least, for that. March 2024 is going to be a really good month for 4K, for physical media, because those three I've been waiting to see released in 4K for years, especially The Abyss and True Lies, because neither one had a Blu-ray release officially until now. And it's a good year for Arnold movies, because I believe Kindergarten Cop is also coming out in 4K by Kino Lorber. And of course, you have the Conan Chronicles from Arrow Video, which I'm highly anticipating. And I've already pre-ordered because I cannot wait till that comes out and I have it in my hands. Because it's been a long time coming when it comes to that set, especially waiting for Conan the Barbarian in 4K, and specifically the theatrical version. The Hitcher is also supposed to be coming out in 4K in 2024. Synapse, they mentioned Trick or Treat, but nothing really official has come out of it. Maybe it's going to come out next year, hopefully. So it's already looking like a pretty dang good year for physical media, even though with all the Best Buy stuff and the drama and Best Buy pulling out of, the game, so to speak. But I already ranted about that in a separate video. And I don't need to reiterate my thoughts again. Although I will just say it once again. Physical media is not dead. It's not dying out. It's not going to be obsolete within the next year or so just because Best Buy is not going to be selling physical media anymore. That's just not the case. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say except thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more content. I'm going to get to those requests as soon as I can. I got some other random stuff I want to do. I want to review the Blob remake. I want to do the Exorcist films. I actually did watch all of them recently, including Believer. And yeah, Believer didn't make me a believer in it. That's for damn sure. I honestly felt that it was, other than maybe the beginning and Dominion, I felt it was easily the worst in the series. Like I honestly would say Exorcist 2, as bad as that was better than Believer, and that's just a stunning revelation. Because at least there's some things about that I can at least kind of laugh at, or I can kind of get involved with because of just how batshit weird and crazy it is. Believer is just so bland and generic most of the time. And a lot of the things that it does right, the damn TV series based on The Exorcist that aired on like A&E did it better. Because I'm actually watching that, and I actually haven't minded it so far. I mean, Gina Davis is great, and so are a lot of other people in that show. It's kind of a little underrated. I would say it's one of the better Exorcist adaptations out there, other than Exorcist 3. Um, but yeah, I want to do that sometime. And I'm also going to do some holiday reviews specifically for the holidays, like Nightmare Before Christmas and the Muppet Christmas Carol. And I'm also going to be doing some other requests that have come in. I know I recently got one for the Pee Wee Herman movies, so those are definitely going to be coming pretty soon. But anyway, yeah, got nothing else to really say except thanks for watching. And until next time, I'll see you later. See ya.